Hi, everyone! Last episode covered how Blank and the Otherworlders, having lost some of their memories, were trapped in the space you can't leave without becoming a couple. To let everyone out, on top of deciding who pairs with whom, they also had to earn donations from the fairies who were watching them fall in love. These donations weren't only for maintaining their living needs. Most importantly, they had to save up $5 billion to buy the key that lets the last remaining person leave. Unlike the previous few situations, at first, Sora thought this was a game he couldn't clear no matter what, so he started slacking off. Later, Sora learned from the space's creator, Funicran, that this game could actually be beaten. Once he knew that, it took Sora only a little time to piece together the reason they'd ended up in this situation, and he confirmed his judgment with Funicran. Since Funicran affirmed Sora's reasoning, he snapped out of his slacker mode. So, to swindle donations out of the viewers, he hit on the idea of using a big festival. Broadly speaking, Sora's judgment was correct. Thanks to Dola, Jabril, and Amir Ainz, the donations kept rolling in. However, what Sora never expected was that just when the mood between him and Shiro was perfect, Shiro caught him off guard. Worse still, by the time Sora regained control of his body, Shiro was already avoiding him. After that, whenever Sora got close, Shiro would say, "Don't come near me." Shiro's attitude left Sora unable to recover. Shiro, please, don't hate Big Brother. Big Brother, that's not it. Shiro couldn't possibly hate you. Shiro, about you. Even though Shiro wanted to convey that her like is the kind of like you feel for the opposite sex, Shiro, falling in real love for the first time, couldn't get the words out properly. Only half said, it instead made Sora misunderstand even more, thinking Shiro had abandoned him. To Shiro, it was the same Sora as ever, yet now just looking at Sora's profile made her body burn. Burn so much she instinctively wanted to run. Looking at herself in the mirror, Shiro suddenly realized, until now, she'd never actually been in love. Meanwhile, the culprits behind this situation, the fairies, created by the god of love, had of course anticipated Shiro would react this way. And how could the fairies pass up such a splendid tangle? On the surface, Funicran said she was pausing the stream once, but in reality, she was still secretly filming, watching along excitedly with the viewers. Next, Shiro, thinking she'd sorted out her feelings, invited Sora to take a bath together. Shiro's goal was simple. She wanted to confess while undressed and win Sora over in one stroke. But unsurprisingly, Shiro, who went into the bathroom first, saw Sora with no clothes on, and the shackles of her reason snapped again. She leapt violently out of the tub, pounced on Sora, covered his eyes, and shouted, "No, still no good." Even though it was a body she'd seen hundreds of times, and even though she'd once used artificial respiration as a pretext to kiss him, Shiro still couldn't do it. Embarrassed to the extreme, Shiro one moment told Sora, who was beneath her, to get away, and the next moment told him not to move. These two contradictory feelings threw Shiro into chaos again. In the past, just seeing Sora's face put Shiro at ease, and just having Sora pat her head made her forget anything unpleasant. But now, just being seen by Sora made Shiro anxious, afraid he'd come to dislike her. And just being touched by Sora made her afraid, worried he'd notice her racing pulse. This before and after difference finally taught Shiro what love is. However, unlike ordinary people, Shiro decided not to enjoy this feeling, but would rather cast it away. If becoming lovers meant all this, Shiro didn't need love. Even so, the thought of Sora becoming someone else's lover was also something Shiro couldn't accept. And so, in a situation where nothing she did felt right, Shiro started to cry her heart out. Watching Shiro like this, Sora hugged her tightly with all his strength and comforted her. All I know is that it's all my fault. As long as I can change, I'll do everything I can to change. And if even that isn't enough for you to forgive me, you can just say so. So, Big Brother is begging you. Please don't cry alone. At first, Shiro still felt she didn't deserve to be treated this way by Sora. But when Shiro noticed that even holding her undressed self, Sora didn't feel the slightest embarrassment, Shiro grew extremely agitated. So agitated that she broke. That's right. It's all Big Brother's fault. The moment she finished, Shiro operated the phone beside her and remodeled the entire environment. Shiro remade not just her surroundings, but herself, too, beginning a transformation. By her own account, she was now Black Shiro. Big Brother, what gives you the right to get so full of yourself? So, fundamentally speaking, why do I have to agonize like this? For the first time in my life, my head feels this clear. I am Black Shiro, and I've come to judge Big Brother's crimes. The old Shiro spoke haltingly because her mouth couldn't keep up with her thinking speed. But now, she'd given up thinking, which is why she mistook it for her thoughts becoming clear and her speech becoming fluent. Just as everything settled into a lull, Dola naturally asked, Sora, who's only covered below the waist, what on earth is going on now? And, of course, Sora could only reply, I don't know. This natural interaction between the two made Black Shiro agitated again, and she even started trash-talking her own brother. Say, Big Brother, do you really want to get a girlfriend? Really? But without your little sister around, you can't even talk to a girl. You can't even breathe. You're just trash. To vent her frustration, Black Shiro trash-talked Sora for a full 3 minutes. Then she hauled Sora off to a castle far away, planning to discipline him there so he'd never again dare dream of getting a girlfriend. If it were an ordinary castle, that'd be one thing, but that castle was clearly a love hotel built for, well, adult purposes. Although the remaining trio of women all wanted to save Sora's virtue, they were helpless because of the barrier Black Shiro set up and their inability to use donations. Oh, this development is so sudden. Now I can finally roll out the fairy's original game. This'll definitely rake in a fortune all at once. This game's title is Rescue the Princess Kidnapped by the Demon King so the two unite and stay together forever. The rules are simple. The resources viewers send next can be directed to individual participants. The 4 players other than Sora can use the resources sent to them to buy soldiers. Simply put, in this game, as long as a player taps a panel that suddenly appears beside them, they can summon soldiers who look just like the operator. The soldiers carry different amounts of bullets, and these bullets can restore the space Black Shikami created back to its original state. The other 3 also have bases. They buy soldiers within their own bases, deploy them, and send them out. When the deployed soldiers hit impassable terrain, they can use bullets to reshape the terrain and open up an advance route. Of course, bullets can also be used to wipe out enemy forces. The game's ultimate goal: hit the other players with bullets so they can't fight. The game lasts 2 hours, and players must subdue the others and take Sora back within the time limit. Same as previous games, whoever is holding hands when the game ends will be forced into a couple for a day. After understanding the rules, the 3 swore to the covenants without hesitation. In the pink throne hall, there's a heart-shaped throne, and behind the throne is the door leading to this world's exit. Also in this space are a heart-shaped bed and a cage. And Sora is on that bed. All right, Shiro, tell Big Brother, what do you want to do to him next? Big Brother, don't ask questions you already know the answer to. That's exactly why you're trash. Doing this kind of thing is pointless. I don't object to you disciplining me, but that is not something an 11-year-old girl should be holding. Put it down at once. What I'm about to say next is the most important part. On a human being, that place is an exit, absolutely not an entrance. You can't reform someone's character by such means. Please let me off. Don't do that. Luckily, Funicran showed up in time and saved Sora from a crisis to his virtue in another sense. Next, Funicran briefly told Black Shiro about this game. At first, Black Shiro wouldn't agree to take part, since she didn't care one bit about couples. She only wanted to make sure Sora wouldn't dare dream of a girlfriend. To get Black Shiro to agree, Funicran specially added a special reward. If Black Shiro could protect Sora for 2 hours, then Sora would swear to the Covenants never to get a girlfriend for the rest of his life. Hearing this reward, Black Shiro agreed at once. Should we say it's no surprise? Not long after the start, Black Shiro's scouting force nearly wiped out Dola's entire team. Dola didn't get eliminated immediately purely because Jabril personally came to the rescue at the critical moment. Jabril's reason for doing so was, of course, not sympathy for Dola, but her judgment that only by the 3 of them cooperating and overwhelming with numbers could they possibly beat Black Shiro. Not only Jabril thought so, Emir Ainz did too. So the 3 of them opened a strategy meeting at Dola's base. Normally, these people could never form an alliance. First, each of them wants to become a couple with Sora. Second, if they gave up on becoming a couple with Sora and formed an alliance, that would sever the 3 CP combos Sora x Jibril, Sora x Amy Rines, and Sora x Dola, and the viewers hoping for those combos naturally wouldn't donate. And with fewer donations, the alliance would be even less able to beat Black Shiro. Third, even if they didn't give up on Sora and formed an alliance, they'd only get donations from viewers hoping for those 3 CPs. And with a mere 3-fold army, 9 times out of 10 they still couldn't beat Black Shiro. So, to solve these 3 contradictions, Amy Rines began explaining her plan. Confirmation. More than one team can be forced into a couple. It's possible to become a couple with someone other than Master. Add a rule among the players, sworn to the Covenants by all, including this unit. 180 seconds before the game ends, whoever holds both Sora and Shiro is the victor. The losers must unconditionally surrender to the victor and hold hands with a person of the victor's choosing until the game ends. This proposal was excellent. It meant that even if they joined forces, each still had a chance to become a couple with Sora. And before defeating Black Shiro, they could still get donations from viewers hoping for the 9 on-screen CPs. After confirming the proposal was sound, they formed the Yuri Alliance. Next, to swindle viewer donations, Emir Ainz even let viewers use donations to make them perform specified actions. For 400,000 in donations to this unit will immediately kiss the number 2 unit. I'd rather die. I'd sooner kiss a pig. Number 2 unit, to you, is your own pet really more important than Master? Can I get an exception? A kiss is fine, but the target must be Little Dola. And so, not only did Jabril kiss Little Dola, even Emir Ainz kissed Little Dola. Well, only on the cheek, though. Anyway, Thanks to this whole combo of moves, the Yuri Alliance got a massive amount of donations, and the Alliance's forces reached over 20 times Black Shiro's. Watching the enemy's overwhelming forces, Black Shiro fell into despair. Is love really this important? If you're not lovers, does that mean you can't even want to be with someone? No, don't take Shiro's big brother away. Don't leave Shiro all alone. At Black Shiro's cry, Sora left the unlocked cell, moved behind Shiro, gave her advice, and operated in her place. As for why, being treated like this, Sora would still help Shiro, Shiro was confused. Whatever Shiro wishes, whatever Shiro wants to do, I'll always support. If Shiro wants to descend into hell, I'll gladly go with you. If Shiro wants to destroy the world, I'll happily help you do it too. So, if Shiro hates me and wants me gone, I'll do that too. Though I have no idea how I'd go on living afterward if that really happened. But never mind. Until it comes to that, I'll never let Shiro be alone. Never let you cry by yourself. The two of us, Shiro and me, will be together forever. Hearing Sora's confession, Shiro finally understood. Her romantic feelings for Sora surely began before she was even born. They had long since passed the fragile, boring lover relationship that could end at any time. Composing herself, Blank reunited as one. First, to fake Shiro's death, Sora had a soldier put on his own clothes beforehand to test whether the bullets would pass through. And sure enough, the experiment succeeded. Next, to make the Yuri Alliance let their guard down, Sora had Shiro, dressed in his clothes, stand defenseless before the Yuri Alliance, and a bullet blasted Shiro clean away. The next second, exactly as Sora predicted, the Yuri Alliance immediately fell apart. While they were locked in infighting, Sora operated Shiro's panel and had the Black Shiro soldiers lurking in the castle wipe out all of Jabril's and Emirine's soldiers. By the time Jabril and Emirine's realized something was wrong, the outcome was already decided. A fragile alliance whose interests don't align is just that easy to break, that easy to handle, that easy to control. Simply put, Sora, who knew the rules, had already guessed what Shiro and the Yuri Alliance would do even without hearing their conversation. He just set a trap at the last moment. Seeing Sora appear, Emirine's and Jibril instantly understood everything, and knowing they had no chance, they cleanly surrendered. Ha! Sorry to keep you all waiting. To answer the viewers' enthusiastic resources, I designate Jibril and Emirine's to hold hands. Now, less than 90 seconds remained before the game ended, and the amount donated to them had already far exceeded 5 billion. Shiro also returned to normal. Amusingly, to break through her relationship with Sora, Shiro made an effort to pretend to be Black Shiro and said to Sora, "This way, Big Brother can never get a girlfriend again. From now on, you have to be with me forever." Big Brother couldn't ask for more. Then Big Brother, repeat after me. I'm a perverted scumbag who sees his little sister in a romantic way. I'm a perverted scumbag who can't deny the possibility of seeing his little sister in a romantic way. To take responsibility for throwing my sister into confusion, I hereby swear I will one day make a move on my sister. To take responsibility for throwing my sister into confusion, I hereby swear I will one day absolutely not make a move on my sister. Big Brother, didn't you say you'd fulfill all of Shiro's wishes? Looked at with those pleading, wheedling eyes, Sora could only repeat, To take responsibility, I hereby swear, once Shiro's mind returns to normal, if she still wishes for it, I will also consider making a move on her in the future. With Sora's promise secured, once the game ended, Shiro took Sora's hand, then pounced on him, letting Sora fall toward the exit door, while Shiro sealed Sora's mouth with her own lips. In the moment the two gradually left, Shiro, blushing, whispered in Sora's ear, "It's a promise, then." And so, having become less than lovers, Blank was first to leave the space you can't leave without becoming a couple. Following after were Jabril and Amir Ainz. Though these two were still hostile to each other, they passed through the door still holding hands. Last, Dola used the phone Shiro left behind to buy the key. And so, this round of games all came to a close. As the stream was wrapping up, Funacran made her final call out to the 1.8 million viewers. Most of us fairies, in order to watch the elves' romances, have been desperately currying favor with them. I've always opposed this. Romance confined within the frame of a single race is utterly meaningless. I've always insisted on this, but everyone laughed at me and said I was the one with something wrong in my head. Well, now let me ask everyone the reverse. Who's the one with something wrong in their head? If you want to watch what comes next in this romance, then follow me. What comes next in this romance exists in the new world we fairies will create together with those kids. We are the race of love, created by the god of love. To fill the world with love, we won't hesitate to make an enemy of the world. If you flinch at this crucial moment, then you don't deserve to call yourself a fairy. Following Funacron's declaration, the chat room went wild. That's right. In the name of the fairies' plenipotentiary Funacron, I hereby declare, the rebellion begins now. In that instant, a vast amount of souls gathered in Funacron's hand, and these wills had already surpassed the power holding Elkia captive. A great romance that will change the world is about to happen, and we will be its witnesses. The Dark Age, like a dog's life content only with the elves' romances, ends today. From this moment on, we fairies will rebel against the elves together with those kids. Peeling Garden, go! Funacron's declaration of war rang out through the entire phase space boundary. And back in reality, Sora and the other Otherworlders recovered all their memories along with the words Peeling Garden. Here's what actually happened. After Blank beat the dwarves, the Otherworlders were in the pharmacy, using a hole Jabril opened to spy on the confessing spies. But halfway through watching, a single Peeling Garden rang out across the whole royal castle, and the next instant, all of Elkia vanished from the surface. Sensing something was wrong, Blank and the Otherworlders immediately used Jabril's teleport to rush to where the castle used to be. But before their eyes was only an endless field of flowers. All of Elkia had been trapped in a subspace by the fairies. Master, there's no way this is possible. Making an entire nation vanish is clearly a violation of the covenants. Since the 10 Covenants, no case of using Peeling Garden has been confirmed, meaning this was done with consent, at least by someone of sufficient standing to consent. Given the current scale of the displacement, it would take the power of at least 400,000 fairy individuals. Hearing this, Sora immediately understood. This was all Elvengard's doing. They'd set a trap, turning around the poison Blank had planted to seize all the intel for themselves. If the intel weren't so important, it'd be fine. But from Blank's understanding, at least the Daemonia and the Luna Mana would, because of this intel, be forced into unwinnable games against Elvengard. Unlike Blank, Elvengard would at least make those two races their subjects. And in the worst case, those two races might even be destroyed outright. Once those two races disappeared, Blank could no longer conquer this world. Blank had lost. At this point in time, Blank was not only no longer humanity's plenipotentiary, even their entire nation had become the enemy's hostage. Taking everything together, Blank had absolutely no means to overturn the situation. Well played. Checkmate. Blank seemed to hear someone say this from far away. After who knows how long, while Blank was still standing dazed in the flower field, the last king of the Dragonia, the wise dragon, Regenleaf, appeared before Blank and company. You must take back your own nation. With just a meeting of eyes, Sora recognized that the Dragon King had given this order. Hurry, I've already prepared the means. What does this mean? The Dragon King, who upheld a policy of non-intervention during the Great War? Could it be you wish to help our masters? How kind of you. This is not assistance. It is punishment. You must atone. You broke this world's balance. You did save one race, but you went too far. This move of yours became a poison corroding the world. Therefore, the poison must be recovered, and no one may possess it. After saying this, the dragon vanished silently into the sky. Then Funicran appeared and began explaining another solution.
Simply put, before Elvengard obtains the intel, Blank and the Otherworlders must, with power greater than the enemy's fairies, liberate Elkia. And to achieve this, Blank and the Otherworlders must enter the Low Garden created by Funicran, have several passionate romances, and gather power. Then, once the power is gathered and Elkia is liberated, the Dragon King will take the antidote provided by Blank and cure the poison. Also, for the Dragon King's cooperation, 3 conditions must be met. 1. Blank must give up all the intel they gathered. 2. Blank must provide the antidote in advance. 3. During the game, Blank must forget everything related to this matter. Unless Blank asks proactively, Funicran cannot volunteer any information.
Having heard these rules, Blank, to pull the situation into a draw, could only agree to this plan. Before entering the game, since Blank understood their own weakness as well, they pointed out 3 flaws in this plan. To these flaws, Funicran's answer, in summary, was, "Do your best. You two can definitely do it. Don't worry." Sora also asked Funicran why she was willing to help them. "Isn't it obvious?" "Don't make me say it out loud. It's so embarrassing." It turned out that after Funicran obtained the intel about Blank from a certain source, she'd become a fan of Blank. To Funicran, seeing interspecies romance was the wish of her lifetime, and Blank had already made mixing multiple races together an everyday thing. Since there was a chance to realize her wish, Funicran had no reason to leave Blank alone. So Blank and company entered the Low Garden, cleared the game, and Elkia was liberated. The Dragon King also stopped the confessions in time, before the spies gave up the fatal intel. Next, Dola, as the former sovereign, filed an accusation on the grounds that the coup was a foreign conspiracy, helping Blank return to the throne. But by the time they officially moved to punish these traitors, the people had already fled far away. Worse, on territory they'd obtained from the elves, Elvengard, they claimed, "We are the legitimate Elkia regime that truly cares about humanity's future." Not only that, they announced to the whole world the founding of the Republic of Elkia. Normally, a regime made up of traitors couldn't win the people's support. However, Blank's own origins were also quite suspicious to ordinary people. And on top of that, the people forming the Republic claimed the protection of multiple races. With all this back and forth, about half of humanity joined the Republic's side. In other words, Elkia was now split into the Kingdom of Elkia and the Republic of Elkia. And Blank was no longer all of humanity's plenipotentiary. They were now only the Kingdom of Elkia's plenipotentiary. And the changes didn't stop there. Because Blank had won far too much, this made multiple races grow fearful. So under Elvengard's leadership, on the condition of providing resources and protection, they formed the Anti-Elkia Federation Front. Those who declared they'd join the front were the Elves, the Daemonia, the Lunamana, the Dragonia, the Giants, the fairies subordinate to Elvengard, multiple phantasma, and half of humanity. Once this grand front was formed, they officially declared war on the Elkia Federation, preparing to begin all-out war. To respond to the changing situation, Blank gathered the Elkia Federation's main members for a meeting. The Werebeast's plenipotentiary, Miko. The Flugel's plenipotentiary, Azrael. The Siren's plenipotentiary, Layla Lorelei. The Dampier's plenipotentiary, Bram Stoker. The Ex Machina's plenipotentiary, Amir Ainz. The future Old Deus plenipotentiary, Horu. The Fairies plenipotentiary, Funicran. The Dwarves plenipotentiary, Tyr, Tilvilk. At first, because Tyr arrived late and Miko didn't know the dwarves had already joined the Federation, and on top of that, the Eastern Union's lifeline, continental minerals, had already been seized by the Republic, this made Miko want to withdraw from the Elkia Federation. The dream you speak of? The 16 races no longer slaughtering each other? This is like trying to change a law that's held for hundreds of millions of years, equivalent to making a planet that spins right turn left. To achieve such a thing, only an especially insane method could pull it off. I understand that much. Even so, if you're going to make the planet spin the other way, friction is unavoidable. You wish to change the world, but there are also those who don't wish for change. And these two irreconcilable wills clashing bring the world to the brink of collapse. If this keeps up, the first to give out will be us, the Eastern Union. So, is a world where no one is sacrificed any and only a dream? If there's a way to let us avoid sacrifice, then propose it. Declare it loudly. Tell me my choice wasn't wrong. Just as Micah was speaking with impassioned fervor, the representative of the world's second largest nation, Tyr, made a dashing entrance right on cue. Since Hardenfell has resources as plentiful as garbage, and the mineral the Eastern Union needs, almatite, meant that as long as the Eastern Union got it, then even without the continental minerals, the Eastern Union could still develop even better than now. Miss Miko, I'm sorry, I can't answer whether your choice is wrong. But other than that, we'll answer every question. First, we won't sacrifice any race. We'll unite everyone's power to challenge Tet together. This isn't a dream. It's a reality about to be achieved. Next, making an enemy of half the world. What I have to say about that is, so what? The enemy's proportion has dropped from 99% to 50%. There's not the slightest sense of pressure. Last point. You say we want to make the planet spin in reverse?
That kind of thing's dead simple. We just trick our way there. I'll deceive the whole world, not letting a single one off, and make everyone believe right is left. And just like that, from tomorrow, the planet spins left.
What Sora meant in that last part is which way the planet spins is, to begin with, a matter of which direction you view it from. So as long as you switch perspective, you can surely find another answer. On the above premise, I ask everyone present once more. Do you want to make the world spin right or spin left? I also really like the cooperation declaration that follows, but there's a bit too much of it, so I'll skip it. What's especially worth mentioning here is that the Dampiers and the Sirens don't get along. The Sirens' current other representative, Amira, is still upset that Brahm is secretly trying to jump ship. Anyway, after everyone expressed their own wishes, they each took a step back and began cheerfully bickering. This defeat left Blank quite frustrated. Beyond the miracle they triggered being exploited by the opponent, most importantly, Blank felt they'd made no mistake this time. Unlike the several miscalculations of the past, this time Blank couldn't find the cause of defeat at all. No matter how much they reviewed, they still didn't know how they'd lost. Blank didn't know when or where the opponent had interfered with this game. The opponent's overly masterful calculation even made Blank uneasy, starting to suspect whether all of this was under someone's control. The one who came to comfort Blank at this point was Dola. Dola comforted Blank with, "Even though the two of you are always wrong about what you do, still, the one point of never letting anyone be sacrificed is absolutely right." Not only that, Dola also said Blank only had to be as they always were, and the rest would be supported by herself, Miko, Jabril, and the others together. As gamers, it's enough just to be gamers. Isn't that your one and only strong suit? After hearing Dola's comfort, Blank even invited Dola to join this review meeting. This is sudden, but you all probably remember Sora swore under the power of the covenants never to get a girlfriend for life, right? That's right, of course. Amir, Ainz, Jabril, and Dola felt regret over this, while Sora himself entered a state of enlightenment. However, as long as it's a relationship other than girlfriend, it's still allowed. Like a mistress or friends with benefits, and a harem's fine too. If anything, skipping the girlfriend stage and going straight to taking a wife doesn't violate the covenants either. And so, a group of women rekindled their hopes. Unlike before, this time, Shiro? What Shiro's now thinking is, since she's the leading heroine anyway, as long as Sora gets used to making a move on other women sooner, then the difficulty of him making a move on her will drop a lot. The first one. Who do you choose? The moment Shiro's words left her mouth, everyone, including Tyr, frantically recommended themselves. Interspecies romance really is the best! Hey! Are you seriously going to insist this is romance? After his retort, Sora grabbed Shiro's hand and made a swift getaway. Finally, I think some people will ask, after Karami and Feel finished their game with the dwarves, where did they go? Simple. Karami is preparing, in her capacity as the Republic of Elkia's interim cabinet chairperson, to hold a meeting with the Elven Guard-led Front Coalition. All right, next, let's begin our war.